have a favorite song, maybe even more than one. But is it the greatest record ever made?
Maybe it is. Yeah. Carl Caffarelli is here to talk about his new book as he's taking a deeper dive into the greatest record ever made, Volume 1. That's the name of it, and Carl joins us here in studio. Great to have you here, Carl. So I guess what inspired you to tackle this and write this book?
This book was almost inevitable at some point. I've been obsessed with pop music since I was a little kid. I was 4 years old when the Beatles came to America, but I was already a huge music fan even before that. You know, bugging my Aunt Anna to play 45s, you know, jukeboxes, the jukebox at the Moose Club in Syracuse, AM radio. You couldn't escape music, and nor would you want to. I wound up writing about music and obsessing over it, co-hosting a radio show. And this is always the book that I think I was meant to write. This has been a life's work in many ways. I don't know that I realized it when I was putting it together, but it winds up being my life story disguised as a collection of essays about 145 songs. And I chose the number deliberately. 145 is the basic progression, guitar progression of rock and roll, but it's also 145. 145 at a time, no matter what the format is, whether it's a CD, an MP3, an 8-track. 145 at a time. That's the greatest. Each one is the greatest in its time.
So I know that you said this was kind of like a lifelong endeavor for you, but what was the process like? You know, how much music did you listen to write this book? Well,
it was incidental, actually, because it's just based on the music I listen to anyway. I listen to music every day. The only time I remember not listening to music was right after 9/11. I didn't listen to music for a week, which is, I think that's unique in my lifetime. But otherwise, music is always part of my life. I mean, it's integral. We say the music is the soundtrack of our lives, but that's wrong. It's part of our lives. It's not just soundtrack. It's something that everything we do, for those of us who are fans, are tethered to gladly. Picking songs was no big deal. I had way more songs that would fit into Volume 1, probably more that would fit into Volume 2. And then it was just a matter of stringing them together like a mixtape and having it flow not just as songs that you would listen to, but as a narrative, so that anyone who's interested could read the book from start to finish and feel like they'd read a novel.
Are there any Syracuse connections in the book?
Oh my gosh, yes. Because I'm a proud product of Syracuse. I grew up in North Syracuse, spent a lot of times in the city. Baron Damone from Colorful Channel 9 gets a chapter on his record, the Transylvania Twist, because that is the greatest record ever made. The Flash Cubes, a local band, started in the late 70s, still around today. They had a new album out last year. They get a chapter in the book. Syracuse University alumni, Lou Reed, his band, The Velvet Underground, is in there. But even beyond that, the book is just seeped in my experiences listening to WNDR, to WOLF, shopping at Gerber Music, going to the North Drive-In to see A Hard Day's Night, going to the Cicero Theater to see That Thing You Do, watching Batman on TV. These are all parts of our experience as fans of pop culture and fans specifically of music.
So what is the greatest record?
There isn't one. There isn't one, nor should there be. Any record you're listening to right now is the greatest record ever made, because nothing else matters. You can't qualify an absolute. So when you say that something is the greatest, there isn't greatest and then this is the greatest, unless you let them take turns. An infinite number of records can each be the greatest record ever made, as long as they take turns. And that's what they do. They take turns. They're records.
Yeah. What are you listening to?
What do I listen to? I listen to so much stuff. Everything in the book I listen to. I like a lot of, I could name a whole bunch of current obscure bands that no one outside of people who listen to my radio show have heard of. I listen to stuff from the 60s, the 70s. I go back to the 50s. The stuff in the book. I listen to West Side Story. There's a rap chapter in the book. There's a country chapter in the book. There's a jazz chapter in the book. But my focus is always going to be rock and roll. That's just my first love, my last love, my everything.
Yeah.
What do you hope readers take away from it?
Well, I hope if they come to Parthenon Books, they buy a book and they take a copy of that home with them. But other than that, I want them to be aware that it's okay to be a fan. It's okay. There's no such thing as a guilty pleasure in music. If you like it, it's okay. Don't feel guilty about liking Milli Vanilli, for example, or Freddie and the Dreamers in my case. Exult in the stuff that you love. Be proud of it. Own it. It's yours. Music is infinite, and so is our interest in it. That's what I hope people take away from the book and from just the idea of listening to pop music and loving pop music.
Tell us about Syracuse Noise.
Syracuse Noise is my imprint. It's based on something that Joan Jett said at the Brookside in 1978 when she was on a bill with the Flash Cubes and the Ramones. The Runaways had a song called Cherry Bomb, which she didn't want to do. The crowd was calling for it. But the departed lead singer that was her signature song, so she didn't want to do the song. So instead, she did a song called Queens of Noise, but changed the lyrics to Syracuse Noise. That stuck with me all those decades later. So when I needed a name for my imprint, Syracuse Noise seemed the obvious one. And there will be more Syracuse Noise in the future.
Love it.
So it's okay to like Milli Vanilli.
It is. Okay. Actually, that's in the book.
Steve likes Milli Vanilli.
No, not my thing. But
Steve, you know it's true.
Well done.
I love that.
Done. All right, well, you can meet Carl, and you can check out his new book this Friday, July 19th at 6 p.m. He will be at Parthenon Books, 333 South Salina Street in Syracuse. You can follow Carl's daily blog, boppin' at carlcaffarelli.blogspot.com. You can also purchase the book on Amazon. We'll post the link on our website after the show.